This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? And this is the weekly results video as promised last week. So this is an ASMR video meant to be relaxing, so I'm going to talk very quietly throughout the whole video. I'll not scream and shout like other YouTubers. And we're going to start off looking at the Premier League. We'll then look at the Championship and the other lower leagues in England. We'll pop in and see the Women's Super League. Then we'll look at Germany, Italy, Spain. We'll take a little look at Russia because it finished for the winter this weekend gone. Poland, France, the Netherlands, Turkey, Scotland, Belgium, Portugal, etc. This week we won't be doing South America because I just did a video in Spanish specifically for those. So, and many of them have finished. So we'll miss those out today. So we'll do some Asia as well. We'll look at the A-League. But Japan and Korea have already finished. So we're going to focus on Europe and Australia. And we'll talk a little bit about the MLS final as well. You ready? Okay, Premier League. Liverpool still top. Their last game was a draw because they couldn't play against Everton due to the storm that we had. A very horrible storm, particularly that I suffered here in Wales and also up on the coast. So Liverpool couldn't host, or Everton, which is in Liverpool, couldn't host that match. So we'll have to wait for the very last Liverpool derby in Everton's current stadium before they move to their new one. But they're still top. 4 points ahead of Chelsea, who have played a game more than them. I heard some pundits having a conversation today when I was watching the Champions League football, saying, is Chelsea really having a title run? Can they be taken serious as title contenders? Yes, absolutely. We'll talk about their game against Spurs in a moment. There's no way they're sitting second and haven't lost for ages, and you tell me that they're not in the picture. That's crazy. So they definitely are for me, as are Arsenal. I think at this point in time I'm nearly ready to start suggesting that Man City are not in it. Quite a bold statement, but I'll do a Champions League, Europa League and Conference League video soon. But in the meantime, after Man City's performance out in Turin this evening, I think that it's more than just a bit of a blip. Let me know what you think in the comments. Nottingham Forest, more than a blip. They're doing really well. I did say they would do this last season and they nearly got relegated, so I felt a little bit stupid, but they're doing exactly what I said they would do at that point. Aston Villa in 6th, Brighton in 7th, Bournemouth in 8th. What a crazy league it is this year. Brentford, Fulham, then Tottenham in 11th. A lot of pressure on Ange at the moment, which I can understand, but oh gosh. Tottenham is for a neutral, Tottenham is such a pleasure to watch. I just can't stand the thought of them sacking another manager. But he has made it a little bit difficult for himself by saying, I'm not going to change, I'm not going to start defending. And I think people are starting to understand that, in the second half of games, they run out of legs, they continue to defend on the halfway line, you can get balls in behind them, they pick up a lot of injuries because of their style of play, and they've got a fairly thin squad compared to the top 5 teams. And yeah, I think that as entertaining as it is for me to watch, if I were a Spurs fan, I'd be quite frustrated that he doesn't at least get a lead and then in the 60th, 75th minute just drop back a little, put an extra defender on, put 3 at the back. something just to hold out, Again, see if you agree with me in the comments. Newcastle in 12th, very unlucky run. Although I would say they were unlucky against Liverpool, they should have won that one. And then they didn't really look up for it in their next game. We'll look at the result of that in a second. And I think Ruben Amorim is starting to understand the scale of the job. I think he did anyway, to be honest. He wasn't under any false impressions. But Man United have lost 2 matches in a row now. West Ham 14th. And then down the bottom we've got Ipswich, Wolverhampton Wanderers and Southampton still, who have got Spurs next. Imagine if Southampton get a positive result, a win against Spurs. And we sing bye-bye to Ange at that point. Okay, latest results then. There were a couple of midweek ones for the Premier League. We'll just glance at them. So Tuesday we saw West Ham lose again. Crystal Palace won away to Ipswich, which was really important in terms of the league positions. Everton hammered Wolves. Man City beat Nottingham Forest handsomely, which is a little out of character for their current form. That game we've talked about before, Newcastle, Liverpool. Newcastle against Mohamed Salah, basically. Chelsea hammering Southampton 5-1. Arsenal beating Man United with 2 crazy corners. Aston Villa beating Brentford. Fulham beating Brighton, which is a bit of a surprise. Although Fulham are not doing bad this year. And then Bournemouth against a very lacklustre Tottenham. I watched that match. They were like running in mud for most of the match. Aston Villa beat Southampton 1-0. Brentford hammered Newcastle on the break with their quick strikers. Crystal Palace drew with Man City. And in fact were beating them twice. And then we saw, I watched this game live on the telly. Man United losing at home to Nottingham Forest 3-2. And they were good for their win. It wasn't, a fluke. Let's look at the match stats. Man United had a lot of possession, but they didn't do that much with it. Yeah, I thought Forest were pretty decent. And then Fulham Arsenal just couldn't get the win. They were all over them. Should have had 2 goals. Only 2 shots on target. Only 2 shots at all by Fulham. They were penned in for most of it, but Martinelli being offside on the 88th minute for the pass that put Saka into score was criminal. He doesn't need to be. He's too fast. He's literally looking down the line. He shouldn't have been offside. So he really did, although he set up the goal that was to be disallowed, he really should have been concentrating better. Bournemouth beating Ipswich 2-1, Leicester and Brighton drawing 2-2, and then this crazy game. Remember last year with the Jackson Martinez goals? So it was another crazy one. Spurs were 2-0 up. Let's just remember that for a second. Okay, Spurs were 2-0 up. Absolutely coasting. And playing really, really well. And then Chelsea just came back into it. And in that situation, like I talked about earlier, Spurs just don't know how to just, sit back a little bit and let things just play out in front of them a little bit. They just don't have a plan B. And Ange refuses to make a plan B, and I think that's going to be his downfall. And then a very important win for Lopetegui, who was under a lot of pressure. 2-1 winners at home to Wolves. Let's have a quick look at it. Some of the matches coming up. Man City, Man United on Sunday. That's going to be a big one. And like I said, actually, weirdly, Southampton Tottenham may be really important for Ange Postecoglou's job. I wish him the best of luck. I do like him. Okay, Sheffield United are top of the Championship. Leeds are second. Then we got Burnley, Sunderland, Blackburn and West Brom, who have just come out of their drawing streak. Blackburn Rovers in fantastic form. And yeah, so we've got quite a few of the big teams. Middlesbrough played last night against Leeds and lost that one. So that's why they're outside of the top 6. And my club, Swansea City, although we got Sunderland next, have been to 9th with only one loss in the last 5 games. That's brilliant for us. At 27 points, so even if we win, we still can't go up a place. But 32, it's only 5 points away. I'm getting a little bit excited that we're starting to find form. And then we've got Oxford in 20th, Cardiff in 22nd, Plymouth and Hull making up the bottom of the league. Then let's have a look. So Tuesday's matches, actually, should we see the weekend as well? Friday, Burnley, Middlesbrough 1-1. Leeds beating Derby on Saturday 2-0. Sheffield Preston, actually Joe Rodon scored in that match, didn't he? And Verber, who's playing as a left back, even though he's a central defender normally. Sheffield Wednesday, Preston 1-1. Sunderland beat Stoke 2-1. Goals from Watson, 2 from him. Cardiff, because the storm, was called off. Hull lost at home to Blackburn. It was the scorer, McLaughlin, with an own goal. Then Coventry won away in London and at Millwall 1-0. Plymouth also called off. Portsmouth beating Bristol 3-0. QPR beating Norwich 3-0. And Luton getting a draw against my team Swansea. Would have been called off if it was in Wales, but we managed to do it because it was away from home, although the rain was still ridiculous. Usual story of a Swansea match: 65% possession, 20 shots to their 8, 10 shots on target to their 2, but we only just managed to get a draw. That's the irritating thing about being a Swansea fan. West Brom, Sheffield United on Sunday 2-2. Goals from Hedgham, Fellows, O'Hare and Campbell. Is it Hedgham or Hegem? I've never heard of him. Who is he? Where's he from? Oh, he sounds Norwegian. Torbjørn Lusaka Hegem. Norwegian. Hegem. Okay, then midweek we saw Burnley Derby 0-0, Luton beating Stoke 2-1, Swansea hung on at the end, Plymouth were all over us, but 2-1 winners away from home down there. Portsmouth Norwich 0-0, Blackburn won again, 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland won, Bristol City won, and like I said, Leeds beating Middlesbrough 3-1, goals from Nyonto, Dan James again and Arison. And then on the Wednesday, Cardiff lost at home to Preston 2-0. Hull and Watford played out a 1-1 draw. Millwall lost at home again to Sheffield United, tough match. The scorer that time being Ryan Brewster. QPR 2, Oxford United 0, and West Brom 2, Coventry City 0, with goals from Mowat and Grant. And that is that. So League One, we'll have a quick look at. Wickham are top, but only on goal difference of a +1, with Wrexham in second place. Birmingham City though have 2 games in hand over Wrexham. Making up the top 6 are Huddersfield, Stockport County, Reading. Bolton Wanderers are not far behind. And then we've got Crawley, Cambridge, Burton Albion and Shrewsbury down the bottom. And then in League 2, Walsall are top by 2 points with a game in hand. Port Vale are second, Doncaster Rovers are third. Then we've got Crewe Alexandra, Grimsby, AFC Wimbledon and Milton Keynes Dons. Ooh, those two must hate each other. Chesterfield up into 8th, Notts County in 9th. Then we've got Bradford, Salford, Cheltenham, Newport in 17th. And at the bottom, Morecambe and Carlisle United. Top of the National League is York City, on goal difference ahead of Barnet of North London. Then you got Forest Green Rovers, Gateshead, Oldham, Rochdale and Sutton United in the top. And down the bottom, you've got Braintree, Maidenhead, Boston and Ebbsfleet United. Curzon are now top of the National League North. Kings Lynn is second and Chorley third. Scunthorpe, can't believe they're all the way down there. Kidderminster, Alfreton and Buxton. Down the bottom, Radcliffe Marine, Needham Market and Rushall Olympic. And in the Southern League, Truro are top on goal difference ahead of Western Supermare, Torquay, Boreham Wood, Farnborough, Worthing and Eastbourne Borough make up the top. And down the bottom we've got Aveley, Enfield Town, St Albans and Weymouth. Women's Super League then, Chelsea still obviously top, 5 wins out of 5 and 27 points, 5 points ahead of Manchester City in second, Arsenal in third. Man United in fourth and Crystal Palace down at the bottom, but only on goal difference ahead of Leicester City, who've lost 4 of their last matches and have Chelsea next. Ouch. Okay, Bundesliga. So Bayern are still top by a good, healthy 6 points. They've got Mainz next. Frankfurt are up to second. Then you've got Bayer Leverkusen and Leipzig making up the Champions League spots. Wolfsburg have pushed past Borussia Dortmund, who themselves are in 6th. And then you've got Freiburg and Stuttgart in the chasing spots. Although Mainz, Werder Bremen, both on 19 points, a win away from a European place. Even technically, Borussia Mönchengladbach could, if everything went their way, land up in 6th after the next set of matches. And then down the bottom, we've got Heidenheim, Holstein Kiel and Bochum. Key matches then, let's look at those. So Stuttgart won against Union Berlin 3-2, Leverkusen beat St. Pauli 2-1, Bayern München beat Heidenheim 4-2 with 2 goals from Musiala. Frankfurt could only draw with Augsburg, Ekitike and Uzun with the goals. Leipzig won away, but Mönchengladbach got a draw with Borussia Dortmund. Stöger with a penalty and Gittens with the equaliser. Wolfsburg beat Mainz 4-3 and Hoffenheim drew with Freiburg 1-1. Any big matches this weekend? Leipzig against Frankfurt, that should be a good watch. Top of the second Bundesliga, Paderborn. Kaiserslautern, Hanover not far behind. Quick check, Cologne in 6th. And Schalke in 14th, Ulm, Preußen Münster and Jan Regensburg down the bottom. On to Italy in Serie A, Atalanta are having the season of their lives, 5 wins out of 5. I think it's actually a lot more than that, it's something like 6. 2 points ahead now of Napoli and Inter in 3rd, Fiorentina having a brilliant season in 4th, Lazio in 5th. So basically between 5th and 1st there's a 1 win. So we could even have a Lazio moving from 5th to top after next week's results. Although, in saying that, Lazio got a tough one. They are against Inter. So very exciting Serie A this year. Atalanta going to win their first ever Scudetto. Milan in 7th, Bologna in 8th. Then we got Roma, who finally won under their new coach Claudio Ranieri, in 11th. And down the bottom we got Verona, Monza and Venezia. Key results then from the last weekend, and there were some midweek matches as well. We had Friday's matches: Inter beating Parma, Atalanta beating Milan 2-1, goals from De Ketelaere and Lukman. Genoa Torino 0-0, Juve Bologna 2-2, and Roma, like I say, finally getting a win against Lecce. There's a run of very winnable games for Roma at the moment, so I'm hoping we can get up the table a little bit before the new year. when we've got Lazio and AC Milan. Fiorentina beat Cagliari 1-0. Goal there from Cataldi. Verona lost at home to Empoli 4-1. Venezia drew with Como 2-2. And Lazio with a big win in Naples 1-0 from Isaacson, winning there against the former champions. Monza losing at home to Udinese 2-1. Big games this weekend. Lazio Inter's got to be my pick, and that's on Monday night. Quick check on Serie B. Sassuolo are top, Pisa are second, and down the bottom we've got Frosinone, Südtirol and Cittadella. Let's go to Spain then. Stay in sunnier climates. Barcelona, who actually have only got one win in 5, sit atop, but only 2 points ahead of their rivals Real Madrid. Have to wonder what the extent of that Mbappe injury was when he came off in the Champions League against Atalanta. That could affect how the next couple of games go for Real Madrid. The informed team in Spain is actually Atletico Madrid, with 5 wins out of 5, 35 points and only a win from top. But I think the surprise package this year, which I've been talking about for a couple of years, is my club, Athletic Club. They find themselves in 4th place, although Villarreal have got 2 games in hand, but they just beat Villarreal in the last match, so they are 6 points ahead of them. So they should stay there even if Villarreal win those 2 games in hand. 32 points. Are they on a Champions League hunt? They have been for the last couple of years, and I've been saying that they could get there. I'm crossing everything. It'd be a good year to do it before they probably have to sell Nico Williams to someone big. Villarreal in 5th, like I said, Sociedad in 6th, Girona in 9th, Real Betis in 11th, Sevilla 13th, and then down the bottom, 2 big clubs, Espanyol, Valencia, and also Real Valladolid. So I said Friday, Celta Vigo beat Mallorca 2-0, Las Palmas beat Real Valladolid 2-1, Barca could only draw away in Seville to Real Betis. Lo Celso, former Tottenham player, and Thiago with the goals to cancel out Lewandowski and Ferran Torres. Then Valencia lost home to Rayo Vallecano 1-0. Real Madrid beat Girona in Catalonia 3-0. Bellingham, Güler and Mbappe with the goals. Real Sociedad beat Leganés 3-0. Athletic Club beat Villarreal 2-0. Paredes and Iñaki Williams with the goals. Osasuna Deportivo Alavés 2-2. And a cracking game with the looks of it. Atletico Madrid, Sevilla 4-3. What's going on with Atletico Madrid? Are they actually attacking? 2 goals from Griezmann, 1 from De Paul and 1 from Lino, to cancel out goals from Luque Bacchio, Romero and Sanchez. And then on Monday Night Football, Getafe beat Espanyol 1-0 with a goal from Rodriguez. Quick look at Liga 2. Racing Santander top, although they've lost the last 2 matches, and Mirandes in 2nd. Down the bottom, Cádiz, Racing de Ferrol, Cartagena and Tenerife. Okay, so to Russia. My team, Spartak Moscow, having a very good run there, the informed team. 5 out of 5 wins and 37 points, only 2 points from the top. Krasnodar currently ahead, looks like on the head-to-head, because not on goal difference, against perennial winners Zenit St. Petersburg. They should have lost the league last year, but they won it on the last day. I think that they're not going to be able to win it this year. Let's cross our fingers. Dinamo, Lokomotiv and CSK, top 6. Down the bottom, Khimki, Fakel, Akhmat and Orenburg. Poland, Lech Poznań are top, narrowly, 2 points, and they lost their last match. Raków Częstochowa, who won the league 2 years ago, are in 2nd, and Jagiellonia Białystok, who, did they win it last year. Extraklasse 2023-2024, yes. So they're the current holders. They're in third, but they've drawn the last 4 matches. That's not good form. Legia in 4th. And then down the bottom, Radomiak Radom in 16th, Lechia Gdańsk in 17th, and Śląsk Wrocław, who came second on goal difference last year, in 18th. Ligue 1. So Paris Saint-Germain predictably top, but Marseille trying their best. There we are, 5 points behind them now in second place. Monaco also exactly the same situation. Marseille perhaps in a better form, but they've got Lille next. That's a tricky one. Whereas Monaco have got Reims. Lille in 4th, Lyon in 5th, and Nice in 6th. And at the bottom, Saint-Etienne, Le Havre, and Montpellier, surprisingly. Last couple of matches then. Friday, Lille beat Brest 3-1. Goals from 2 from Jonathan David, of course. Will they keep him after this year? I don't think so. I think he's going to go somewhere big. Jose managed to get a draw with Paris Saint-Germain. Well done to them, 0-0. Monaco beat Toulouse 2-0. Goals from Singo and Embolo. Nice beat Le Havre 2-1. Lyon won against Angers 3-0. Lens beat Montpellier 2-0. Nantes beat Rennes 1-0. Strasbourg could only draw with Reims 0-0. And Saint-Etienne lost at home to Marseille 2-0 with goals from Rabiot and Greenwood. Pick of the matches next weekend. Oh, it's got to be Paris Saint-Germain Lyon for me. And then the week after, or actually midweek, Monaco Paris Saint-Germain. Very good. Exciting stuff. Let's pop to the Netherlands then. So, Eredivisie, PSV are top, but Utrecht, who went down to 3rd, have swapped back with Ajax and are now in 2nd again, so chuff for them, my favourite city in the Netherlands. Ajax are in 3rd, Feyenoord in 4th, NAC Breda in 7th. Thank you for the comment. Said that this time last year they were 7th in the league below, and now they've come up and they're 7th in this league. What a story. Go Ahead Eagles as well in 8th. That's a crazy one. And then down the bottom we've got Sparta Rotterdam, Valvik and Almere. Pick of the matches, Utrecht beating Almere with former Swansea favourite Van der Horn. Iqbal in Ohio also scored. Ajax lost to AZ Alkmaar, Parrot and Lado with goals. And Feyenoord just managed to beat Valvik. Own goal from Ukili, but then further goals from Musa and Baishao. Go Ahead Eagles beat Nijmegen 5-0. Breda beat Sparta Rotterdam 2-0. And PSV beat Twente 6-1. Noah Lang, Tillman, Saibari with 2 goals, Ledesma and Pepe. Impressive. Okay, on to Türkiye. Galatasaray still top now, 6-point gap between them and city rivals. Fenerbahce, Samsunspor are in 3rd and Eyüpspor 4th. Beşiktaş in 5th. Down the bottom, Alanyaspor, Bodrumspor, Hatayspor and Adana Demirspor. Probably because Galatasaray beat Sivasspor away 3-2. Akgün, a penalty from Osimhen and Yilmaz with the goals. But in the other derby, Beşiktaş managed to beat Fenerbahce to widen Galatasaray's gap, so Oxlade-Chamberlain with the goal there. On to Scotland then. Celtic are top, quite a way away, 9 points ahead of Aberdeen and 11 points ahead of Rangers. 5 wins at least out of 5. Then we've got Hibs down the bottom, just ahead of Hearts, and the 2 Edinburgh clubs struggling quite a lot this year. It's a shame to see. Rangers beat Ross County 3-0 with goals from Higamain, Danilo and Tavernier. Celtic meanwhile beat Hibs 3-0 Engels, Newell with an own goal and Furuhashi. And Aberdeen could only draw with St Johnstone, Clarkson cancelling out Kirk's early goal for the away side. On to Belgium then. Genk are top, 4 points ahead of Club Brugge. Anderlecht in third, Gent in fifth, Saint-Gilloise in seventh. Down the bottom we got Sint-Truiden, Kortrijk, Cercle Bruges and Beerschot. Key matches: Sporting Charleroi beat Royal Antwerp 3-1, Anderlecht beat Beerschot 2-1, goals from Verscharen and Dreyer. Gent beat Sint-Truiden, Ito and De Vlieger with the goals. Genk beat Kortrijk, 2 goals from Grosowski and 1 from Sternberg. And then the last of the in-depth analysis one's Liga Portugal. Sporting narrowly top. The Amorim effect. So they've kind of lost their way since their manager left. It's a weird situation. You don't usually lose a manager when you're doing really, really well. You lose them when you're doing badly. So they've basically lost practically all their matches since their change in manager, which is weird because it's the same team. But obviously the tactics are just so good and Amorim. Which has allowed Benfica to catch up, only 2 points, and they've got a game in hand. Porto are in third, same number of points, so it's a bit of a three-way for the title. And then Santa Clara are in third, meeting Braga in fifth, and Vitória de Guimarães are sixth. Whilst on the bottom we find Nacional, Farense and Oruca. So let's have a look at that result then. Who did they lose to? Benfica beat Vitória de Guimarães. Famalicão only could actually get a draw with Porto. Aranda cancelling out Agehawa's goal. Benfica's goal was scored by Atokolu. And Sporting lost to Moreirense. Pinto and Chetine with the goals, cancelling out Gyökeres's penalty. Interesting. Okay, upcoming matches you've got Sporting against Boa Vista, could be quite interesting, and Braga for Famalicão as well. Okay, we'll just dip in and have a look at some of the rest of the European leagues. Copenhagen are still top, but only on goal difference ahead of Midtjylland. And then down the bottom of that we got Volleyball Club. Allsvenskan has finished. Oops. I don't know how I did that. Put it back down. Greek Super League. Olympiakos are 3 points ahead in top after a brilliant run. They're ahead of AEK Athens. And then PAOK and Panathinaikos make up the top 4, predictably. But there is only 4 points between the top 4, so that's quite exciting. Aris Thessaloniki are in 5th. And at the bottom we have Athens, Kalithea. Okay, let's go to Czechia then. So Slavia Prague are top, 10 points ahead of Victoria Pilsen, and 16 points ahead of a floundering Sparta Prague. They haven't lost in the last 5, but they're just drawing too many. They're having a terrible time in the Champions League. And down the bottom you've got Dinamo České Budějovice. On to Switzerland, where Lugano are top now. They've just gone ahead of Basel, who were top last week. Servette in 3rd and Lausanne in 4th. Zurich are in 5th. And Young Boys are down in 9th, although they lost their last match. Surprisingly, Grasshopper are bottom. Norway's finished. So on to Northern Ireland. Linfield are easily still top, 7 points ahead of Cliftonville. Although I think Larne still have quite a few, like as much as 5 games to play. because they concentrated on the Conference League qualification at the beginning of the league. Republic of Ireland has also finished, so let's look at Wales. Penabont still top, currently by 4 points, but TNS have got a game in hand. Quite excited that there's even so much as a title challenge happening in Wales, because TNS are so dominant. I really hope Bridgend Penabont can win the league. That would be great for Welsh football. Haverfordwest trying their best to keep up, but the last 3 matches have been pretty awful. And Aberystwyth are still bottom. Then we've got Romania. Oh my god, my club, Universitatea Cluj, are top. I can't believe it. So they were in the title challenge, and then they lost these 3 games in a row. And I thought, oh no, it's, you know, a club that really used to be relegation fodder. And if you haven't watched my Football Manager save of me playing as Universitatea Cluj, then check that out next. So that's really exciting that there's someone else in the game. The usual Cluj team that do well are down in 4th. And then we've got FC Steaua Bucharest and Dinamo Bucharest in 2nd and 3rd. Making up the top 6, Universitatea Craiova and Sepsi. And down the bottom are Gloria Buzău. And then we've got Croatia, Rijeka are still top, Hajduk Split 2nd, and Dinamo Zagreb still in 3rd. Could we have a new champion here? We did say that last year, and it ends up being Dinamo at the last minute in the end, so I'm not getting my hopes up. Now on to Austria, Sturm Graz, who had a good result in Europe this week. They are top. Actually, they just lost at the end of the match, didn't they? Sorry. But they looked impressive. So the form team are Austria Vienna, who are trying to catch up in this league where it looks like Salzburg are not going to win the league this year, so it's up to someone else to fill the gap, and I think that we have 2 firm choices here. Good luck to them both. And Altach are down the bottom. In Israel, the Ligat Ha'al, Hapoel Be'er-Sheva are still top, 3 points ahead of Maccabi Tel Aviv, and down the bottom are Ironi Tiberias. Hungary. We've got the Puskás Academy still top over Ferencváros, and Pakshi in 3rd place. Down the bottom are Kecskemeti. Then we've got North Macedonia, Silex are top, Shkendia are 2nd. Oh wow, so we've had a swap at the top. Shkendia only drew their last match, which means they are 2nd on goal difference of 1. Rather than Silex. On to Cyprus, Paphos are top by 2 points ahead of Aris Limassol. Ammonia Nicosia in 4th. And we've got Ammonia Mayu down the bottom. Azerbaijan, Araz are top. Wow, ahead of Karabakh, but they've got a game in hand. So they could move back, but they drew that match. So Araz are top. Turantuvuz in 3rd, and Sabail down the bottom still. Ukraine, Dynamo Kiev are top. Alexandria have moved to 2nd now after a loss. It's a shame for them, and Shakhtar are in 3rd. The big 2 are catching up with everyone now. Down the bottom are Inhulets Petrove. Kazakhstan's finished. Bulgaria, Ludogorets are top. 10 points ahead of Botev Plovdiv and Chernomore Varna. Levski make up the top 4, and the bottom is Hebar. Then we got Bosnia, Srinski Mostar are top, ahead of Sarajevo by 6 points, and Banja Luka, Zeleznica in 4th, and down the bottom we've got Sloboda Tuzla just below Gabela. Armenia, Urartu are top ahead of Noah by a point. Punic are catching up in 3rd. Ararat Armenia are in 4th, And down the bottom are Gansassar. And lastly then, Serbia, Red Star Belgrade atop, miles ahead of Partizan Beograd. Mladost Lučani are in third, I've never heard of them. And Vojvodina are in ninth, and Jedinstvo are still bottom by 10 points. Crikey. And as promised, we're going to look at the A-League and the MLS. So Auckland are still top after 6 matches, 6 wins out of 6 in their new league. The New Zealanders coming into the Aussie A-League, of course. Melbourne are in second, Melbourne Victory. Adelaide in third, Melbourne City in fourth, Welly Phoenix in fifth, and Sydney FC making up the top 6, with Brisbane Roar down the bottom. And skipping the other leagues, getting to the MLS, we have a winner. For the first time in a long time, LA Galaxy have won the MLS Cup over New York Red Bulls. Commiserations to them. Goals in the end from Paintsil and Joveljic, cancelling out Nialis's goal. So, yeah, well done to LA Galaxy. Commiserations to Red Bull, and look forward to next year. What a change in fortune though. LA Galaxy didn't even make the playoffs last year, so to win the whole thing was just a massive achievement for them. Well done. Very briefly, I forgot the Saudi Arabian League. Al Ittihad are top ahead of Al Hilal by 2 points, and Al Qadasiyah are third, surprisingly ahead of Al Nasser. Al Ahly are in fifth, and down the bottom are Al Wehda, Al Fayha and Al Fateh. Okay, if you want to see these leagues, then check out my video in a couple of days in Spanish. It'll be out on Sunday or Monday, and I talk about them in great detail. I'm also going to do one in Italian for my Italian channel, talking about Serie A, B and the Coppa Italia, as well as other leagues in Europe, and that should be out on Sunday as well, so check that out too. But for the moment, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, write me a comment, tell me how your team's doing. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We do these every week, and if you love what I do and you want to support the channel a little bit more, then consider joining me on Patreon. Okay, thank you so much for watching everyone. Take care. Bye 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 bye.